Good evening, everybody. It's your friend Sean Vanderlee here, again with you to read some poetry. In particular, the collected songs of Cold Mountain, picking up where we left off last time. Verse 28. This maid is from Hantan. Her singing has the lilt. Make use of her refuge. Her songs go on forever. You're drunk, don't talk of going. Stay until the morning comes. Where you sleep tonight, her embroidered quilt fills a silver bed. Pull your 3-winged galleons. Ride your 1,000-mile stallions. You still won't reach my home. It's called the darkest wild. My cave is on a distant ridge. Clouds and thunder last all day. I'm not Master Confucius. I have nothing to convey. Wise ones, you ignore me. I ignore you fools. Neither wise nor foolish. I'll disappear henceforth. At night, I'll sing to the moon. At dawn, I'll dance with the clouds. How can I still my mouth and hands and sit up straight with all of this hair? A mountain man lives under thatch. Before his gate, carts and horses are rare. The forest is quiet but partial to birds. The streams are wide and home to fish. With his son he picks wild fruit. With his wife he hoes between rocks. What does he have at home? A shelf full of nothing but books. Who takes the Cold Mountain road? Takes a road that never ends. The rivers are long and piled with rocks. The streams are wide and choked with grass. It's not the rain that makes the moss slick. It's not the wind that makes the pines moan. Who can get past the tangles of the world and sit with me in the clouds? As long as we're bound by the 6 extremes, discussing the 9 knots is futile. Talented men remain in the wilds. The unskilled close rough doors. The cliffs are still dark at noon. The valleys stay dim on cloudless days. Here you'll find the sons of elders, and none of them owns any pants. Where white clouds form high rugged crags, and green water rolling dark waves, I hear a fisherman singing. Over and over the song of his oars. Verse after verse, I try not to listen. It stirs up too much sorrow. Who says sparrows don't have horns? How else could they pierce my walls? The trail to Cold Mountain is faint. The banks of Cold Stream are a jungle. Birds constantly chatter away. I hear no sound of people. Gusts of wind lash my face. Flurries of snow bury my body. Day after day, no sun. Year after year, no spring. What makes a young man grieve? He grieves to see his hair turn white. Besides that, what makes him grieve? He grieves to see the day draw near. He goes to stay on Taishan, or leaves to guard Peimang. How can I bear to speak these words? These words pain an old man. People say cares never depart. This is verse 37. A saying I thought was untrue. But yesterday what I drove off entangles me today once more. The months depart but cares remain, and a new month means new cares. Who would guess beneath the big hat is someone plagued with old cares? thank you for listening. Let's just we tend to take a quick look at these, and we don't get too in deep, but we want to make it, at least I want to make it, and hopefully if you're listening, you want to make it something of a personal journey through these poems. So it's not a super critical, I'm not going to talk about Chinese translations unless I see a little note that I think is really, really interesting. We're just going to talk about what the poem brings to us and brings out of us. I like this. This is a beautiful poem. Pull your 3-winged galleons, ride your 1,000-mile stallions. You still won't reach my home. It's called The Darkest Wild. It's not about the way we travel physically, is it, to get to Cold Mountain, even though Cold Mountain was a real physical place. It's about a mental journey, a spiritual journey. And that's the sort of journey ships won't help you with, horses won't help you with. That's a journey that's within. And he talks and talks. In 32, he kind of picks this up again. Or in 31, he talks about how his wife is hoeing between rocks. And he picks wild fruit. What does he have at home? Nothing, just books. He's not nourished by these sorts of material things that maybe, however many 1,200 years ago in China, you might have wanted to have in a home or might have been desirous to have in a home. Yeah, he's hoeing between rocks. Doesn't sound like the most fertile land or the most productive or most wealthy. That his home is full of beautiful cloves or furniture or golden or jade jewelry or whatever else. But his home is full of books. That's the important point that he's trying to get to here. I really like this. This one sort of surprised me, and it gets into that sort of absurd thread that runs through this poetry, and maybe, was also in, if you've ever read Zhuangzi, it's there too, where you have these absurd images. Okay, the Valley Stadium on cloudless days. Here you'll find the sons of elders, and none of them owns any pants. It's a beautiful and fun image, and also quite absurd, isn't it? None of them owns any pants. They're running around in their birthday suits, so to speak, at least on the lower half. And you can sort of imagine that probably wouldn't have been received, that sort of thing wouldn't have been really received all that well by any society, almost at any time, since we came down from the trees, so to speak. Which isn't a knock on less modern societies, but it's just bringing home the point of that's a funny image of carefree life, ascetic life. Now this one really struck me. This was really sort of personal one for me, I guess, and maybe for you too. Maybe you've come to peace with this sort of thing, or maybe you haven't got there yet. What makes a young man grieve? He grieves to see his hair turn white. Doesn't that make you grieve to some level? You look real close. I think I have a white one right here. You can get the focus. I have the odd white one kind of in my muzzle. These are, I think, pretty good. Sorry. What makes a young man grieve? He grieves to see his hair turn white. I remember the first time I saw a white one. That really did make me grieve. That was 6 years ago. That was right before right, I think I'd probably said that I was going to leave my old job, and that either helped precipitate that on some level, or made me feel like that was really time to go, because at that point, I think on some level I was, you did feel that sort of touch of death, even though it's a very, very small thing, and I don't lose any sleep over it. And it's going to happen to us all. That's just a part of the game, short of some sort of super scientific technologies to keep us from aging. But even so, at some point, I think realistically we're all gonna have the odd white hair. That's all gonna be a reminder of our mortality. And I just thought that was beautiful. What makes a young man grieve? He grieves to see his hair turn white. That's sort of talking about that sense of mortality and grieving really plays well into verse 37, which is why I left off there. People say cares never depart. The cares he drove off yesterday entangled him today again. Who would guess that beneath the big hat, someone plagued by old cares? It's easy to think that you've moved on from something, isn't it? What is it about caring and investing yourself in something, and at least trying to move past that is so often impossible or temporary at best? Well, things to ponder. I think about that sometimes when you just think of where your energy goes in your life. When you think of your life being made up of moments and time and effort. And you start off going to school and learning things, and then you go to work and you learn more things and apply things and do things, and you might meet a girl or a guy or whatever gender orientation you may have, and you spend time with them, and you learn languages, and you worry about things, and you care about things, and you run around with no pants, and you hoe between rocks. We do all those things, and you are moving forward. You're doing different things. You're maybe meeting different people or going different places, or watching your hair turn gray. And these things that you did, whether it was 30 years ago, reading books in class, and playing on the field at lunch, you think you forget them, but you never do you? They're always with you. They're always a part of you. On that thought, I'll just leave that there, and we'll pick up again on verse 38. Thank you.